What the Wow. I know it's only game 3, but that was embarrassing. Welcome to HockeyCast, and I'm going to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Chicago Blackhawks last night, and it was a terrible, terrible game for the Leafs. You know, on the positive side, Matthews almost had 7 goals in 3 games, but they called it back. I guess, they were offside, but last year he had 7 goals in 16 games. So hopefully there's not 14 games go by without a goal. Forget I said that. My initial thoughts. I don't know how they can continue to play like this and not get it. There's all the teams that are contenders and all the teams that go past the first and second round, like deep into the playoffs. They play their game no matter who they're playing, whether they're playing a top 10 team or a bottom 10 team. They play their game. They play hard. They play for each other. They're there to back up each other. And it is a tough, tough game that they're playing. Like, look at Tampa the last 3 years. If you look at Tampa and the style that they played after they lost 4 straight and they got swept in the first round, you remember that? It seemed like such a long time ago, but ever since that happened to them, that following season, they got it. They understood. And they just played their game no matter who they were playing. They had a mission and a chip on their shoulder. Well, the Leafs don't have that. As we've seen in the last few years, they can bring in whoever they want and try and change the chemistry in the dressing room, try and change the chemistry on the ice, and it's not working. They've brought in several different character type players, and it's not working. You still got those games where they seem to take the night off and things just aren't clicking. If things aren't clicking and if you just don't feel it, you got to outwork them. You got to outskate them. You got to outwork these people. You got to outwork the team that you're playing each and every night. You can do that. You don't need any special skills to outwork your opponent. But when they take a night off like this, thinking it's going to be easy, they end up losing to a backup goalie who has an atrocious record of like 2-12-1. Because that goalie's been on bad teams. But of course, the Leafs lose a game where, the expectations are the highest to win, and Connor Bedard is coming into town. He had a few good chances, a few good shots, but other than that, he's just, wasn't that effective in the game. He didn't score. But the Leafs' effort tonight was just awful, and it just doesn't stem back from tonight. And like I've been saying, they just can't seem to find that mentality, that mental game where they're not taking a night off. They're there to do a job and to get it done. They still haven't found that after all these years. And until they can get it between their ears that this is what they need to do, it doesn't matter who you bring in to augment. It doesn't matter who you bring in to change the style. It doesn't matter who you bring in to change the attitude in the dressing room. These guys just need to do this on their own. And if not, then Trey Living has to change the core. And otherwise, you're still going to get the same results. Like, just as contagious as it is to bring somebody in and start hitting and fighting and everything like that, yeah, that's great. That is contagious on the ice. But you can't expect that player to do those things every single game. It's a long season, 82 games. You can't fight every night. So it's up to each of the players to bring their own A game to get motivated to play hard every single shift. Like, this was embarrassing watching this game tonight, and it's only game 3. Every game that they've played, the last couple of games here, they've always played from behind. Whatever happened to coming out and dominating? Like, it just, I don't know. I don't have any words to say here. It's just terrible effort all around. And sorry, but Domi, he looks lost out there. He better find his game quick, or he's going to find himself a healthy scratch, or even worse. They've tried changing him in the lineup, but hopefully he can find that one thing that he brings to this team. Otherwise, he's going to get replaced. Klingberg, he had a terrible game tonight. It was just, everything was off. And, it's almost like when he had the puck, he didn't know what to do with it. And it was just wasting chances. They went from a good puck management team the last few years, and now so far it's not great. It's just, they're dumping it in too much, I think. I don't know. Who knows? They're just not playing hard enough. It's like they're playing down to their opponent like they've always done. And with visiting teams coming in, of course, any team that comes into Toronto is going to play hard because of all the media attention, right? They don't want to embarrass themselves, and they want to be talked about. So every team that comes into Toronto, they play really hard. And the Leafs need to know that. They should know that, but they should be playing hard as well, because they're playing at home with their fans. So they should be playing hard every single shift, and not, the last couple of minutes where the game's almost over and they spark this comeback. Like, what is that? Why aren't they playing like that for the majority of the game anyway? Why don't they come out and start like that? I don't know. I don't have any answers for it, but it was a hard game to watch, that's for sure. And Wall. So early in the game, I was thinking about and commenting on, like, Wall is a good positional goalie. He's very calm in the net. He's a big goalie that covers a lot of the frame, like Vasilevsky. He looked that big in the net. But towards, about halfway through the second and into the third, he kind of just fell apart a bit. I don't know what happened there, but he's just a young goalie. So, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, when he gets a few games in, a few reps, he starts looking better. But at the beginning of the game, he looked great. The team didn't help him out any, but he still looked really good and very athletic. When he was reaching across, he's stretching out to make a save. Like, he's a tall kid. I forgot about that, how tall he was, until, he was in the butterfly and then reached out with his pad to make a spectacular save early in the game. But again, as the game went on, did he get tired? I don't know, but it just seemed to roll through the entire team, the sleepiness, and it was hard to watch. And I even said that he reads the play well, but that breakaway with Perry, not a good look. It just froze him big time. And hopefully he can get through that. Again, he doesn't have much experience in the NHL. Hopefully he can find his game and just, continue to get better. Because earlier in the game, he had good anticipation. He had good vision. But then, like I said, it kind of just fell off towards, the middle to and towards the end of the game there. Towards the second half of the game, it kind of fell off. So I don't know what Keefe is going to say in the dressing room, but there's a different general manager now with Trey Living, and he doesn't have a lot of patience for this kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks or next couple of months as to, the kind of changes they need to make, because that defense definitely has to get better. Because right now it's terrible. All 3 games, the defense has been terrible. So I don't know what they need to do back there. They need to get players that bring it every night. And I don't know if it's TJ Brody that's going to be, on his way out. Klingberg, he just got here. But if you're not playing good enough, then that's, what more can be said. So, Liljegren, I don't know. Is he going to be on his way out? It'll be interesting to see what happens. But in order for them to get better in that position, somebody's going to have to leave. Nylander, he's not going to leave. His contract's coming up, but I have a feeling he's going to remain a Leaf, moving forward. Tavares' contract is due, and, he has 1 more year left on his contract. So that's a huge amount of money that'll be available if they give Willie like a bridge contract, and then, settle him in the year after when Tavares' contract is due, and then pay Tavares a little bit less if he wants to stay. Other than that, I don't know what this game, it's only the 3rd game, but we see the same style. And that's why everybody's, I think, is, upset, because we see this year after year after year. They play down to their opponent, and they have to understand that no matter who they're playing, they play their style of game. They play hard all the time. They finish their checks. They make hard, crisp passes. They make good decisions. They back up each other in the mistakes they make. But right now, they're far away from that. And there's really, really no expectation to ever think that they're going to get past, a first or second round playing like this. There's just no way that could happen. But in any event, after a game like that, it's time to get out on the road. So we have Florida on Thursday and then Tampa on Saturday. So we have a couple of days in here to get in a good practice and to just get our head straight, get our mindset going in the good direction. And I hope they can figure it out. I hope something clicks where they just get it. And they're all out there playing 100% all the time. Like, if you're not feeling it, if you're not on it, skate. Basically, if you don't skate in the game and move towards the puck and check your player, you're going to be doing it in practice, because they're going to give you a hell of a workout in practice. And, if it were up to me, wouldn't you want to give it in the game a little better, a little more, than wasting all that energy in a practice getting bag skated? What are your thoughts? Let me know below. Like and subscribe to this video, and we'll see you Thursday in Florida.